Igor raises 6 children on his own. He cooks, he cleans, he does the laundry, he bakes bread. A year and a half ago, his wife simply disappeared. No warning, no goodbye. He came back from working away and found his children in an orphanage. And no wife. But that's not even the worst part. Because today, he will find out one of the 6 children might not even be his. This is Russian television, where today an abandoned father, a runaway mother, a new boyfriend, and a DNA test that will reveal the family's final secret all meet in one studio. Igor, a Muslim migrant, raising 6 children alone, barely speaks Russian, but cooks, does laundry, and bakes bread better than most mothers. Lyuba, the oldest daughter, she's the one who wrote the letter to the show, to have her mother stripped of parental rights. Tatiana, the mother, who the show's team tracked down, says she loves her children but hasn't called in a year and a half. Mikhail, Tatiana's new boyfriend, also a migrant, also barely speaks Russian, and grandmother Natalia, who came to say exactly what she thinks. Lyuba, the oldest daughter, wrote the letter that brought this family to television. She says firmly she wants her mother stripped of parental rights. A year and a half without a single call, without a single ruble. But then she adds, her mother drank. She ran around. There were constant fights at home. Her father was always out looking for her, and he hit her. Lyuba, I will never forgive her. Igor walks in. He calms his daughter down. He explains, every time he left for work, she would start running away. He would find her and bring her back, again and again. And then he says something that stops the studio cold. I didn't mind if she drank at home. I just didn't want her to run away. The studio experts. He's the problem. A tyrant. He hit her. That's why she left. Neighbors on screen defend Igor. But add one detail. The youngest son doesn't look like him. The show's team tracked Tatiana down. She walks into the studio to screaming from the audience. She goes to her daughter, asks for forgiveness. Lyuba pushes her away. Tatiana says she loves her children. But Igor left her alone with 6 kids. Didn't send money for 3 months. Nothing at all. Lyuba shouts, she's lying. Dad sent money. Mum just always wanted more. Tatiana says the marriage was filled with fear and violence. That's why she had no choice but to leave. And then Lyuba says something that silences the entire studio. I threatened to throw myself in front of a train if you didn't come back. You didn't come back. Tatiana's grandmother Natalia walks into the studio. She immediately starts shouting at her granddaughter. It turns out, Tatiana's own mother was exactly the same. She abandoned everyone too. Arguments! Screaming! And then, a new detail. Tatiana has a criminal conviction for child abuse. The youngest child was found in a terrible physical state from never having his diaper changed. The studio goes silent. Mikhail walks in. Tatiana's new boyfriend, also a migrant, barely speaks Russian, says Tatiana doesn't drink. He protects her. But Lyuba cuts in. Mikhail called her on the phone and threatened to kill her if she kept calling her mother. A girl in the audience turns to Mikhail. You're Muslim. Why are you living together without a nikah? Will you marry her? Of course, Mikhail answers. Neighbor Ludmila defends Igor. He never hit anyone. And if he did punish her, she deserved it. The host is stunned. Hitting your wife is normal? One expert shouts, Igor is a hero. Another defends Tatiana. She was young. She wanted to live a little. It happens. The grandmother shouts over everyone. My husband drank and hit me, but I never abandoned anyone. Shameless girl! The moment everyone was waiting for. The results for 5 children. Igor is the father, all his. But the 6th, the youngest, is not his. The studio freezes. Who is the father? Tatiana says quietly, she doesn't know. The studio erupts. Igor says calmly, that's my child. I will raise him. Tatiana will not get him. The children are brought into the studio. A year and a half without their mother. Tatiana sits. Luba shouts at her, "You could at least stand up!" Tatiana approaches the children, but doesn't kiss the youngest, the one whose father is unknown. The host brings the boy to his mother. Igor takes the child back. And then the final blow. Igor asks, where is the oldest son? It turns out Tatiana kidnapped him. Nobody knows where he is. The boy is 17 years old. Tatiana says he doesn't want contact with either parent. He's tired of the fighting. Igor raised 6 children on his own. It turned out one of them wasn't his. But he says that child is still his. And somewhere out there is a 17-year-old boy whose mother kidnapped him. And nobody knows where he is. Russian television found this family, but couldn't put it back together.